Are you ready to have a good ass show?
I've never been more ready for a good ass show than I am at this exact moment of our lives.
Cool. All right, here we are. We're back again. It's another edition. It's another episode. And he was hanging with shooters while y'all were hanging with Mr. Cooper. Which one of y'all got beef? He's putting your names inside a chalupa. It's that guy over there.
Did you just run Cooper with chalupa?
I didn't. Someone else did.
Well, I'm talking. He's talking about Alex. That's me. And of course, I'm questioning that guy over there.
Woo! It's Jake. How are y'all doing today? We've got a lot of good stuff to get to. Before we get to that, Alex, hit him with that delicious online content.
What if I was just like, no? I mean, I'm gonna, but like, what if I was just like, no?
You're fired. You know what? You're not this week. Next week, you're suspended. Don't even be on the show. I'm gonna get someone else to do it.
So you're telling me that if I don't tell people about our online presence in this episode on the 28th of November, we're not going to record?
Yeah, you and I are not going to
together?
record. You're suspended. I'll find someone else to do your spot.
You know what? That's fine, because on Instagram and Facebook and Patreon, if you're searching Red Arrow Productions, you're gonna find us. We're not hiding. We're blowing up the IGs on a weekly basis. That's a normal thing for us now. Twitter, Red Arrow P, Red Arrow Deep South, also on Instagram, posting all the funny stuff that makes us giggle on the inside and the out. I mean, the podcast is available. I don't know where you, the listener, are particularly listening from, but it's available everywhere. Spotify, Podbean, iTunes, Google Podcasts. I mean, we're starting up the YouTube channel. I actually just wrote a script today that I think we need to explore, because I think it's a doable script for a short film.
Indeed it is. Also, one thing that I might start doing, it's possible I can upload our episodes directly to YouTube, so that might be something that we can do moving forward in the future. So keep an eye out for that. But you know what, Alex? You're still suspended.
That's fair. You know what? On the 28th, I won't be here. That's fine. You know what? You take your double secret probation. I don't think so. It's not a secret. Yeah. It's not a secret, and I won't be here on the 28th. You've talked me out of being here on the 28th. Good. Take that.
Don't want you here. We're gonna have a different energy. It's gonna be a different show.
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Let's move towards the recent unpleasantness here. Want to give a shout out, eulogize. Not really a shout out. That's inappropriate, but.
That's a little off.
Yo, it's your boy. Make sure you smash that subscribe button. R.I.P. No, but in reality, we do want to say rest in peace to Stan Lee. Certainly someone who is inspirational to a lot of people, specifically to us, whether directly or indirectly. Stan Lee was a real influence.
Yeah. Absolutely, the guy is I mean, he's a legend. And like legends, he'll never die. In that, someone will always remember.
Heroes
Stan.
get remembered, but legends never die. Follow your heart, kid.
Bingo.
You can never go wrong. Name the movie.
I don't like. I thought G.I. Joe said that.
That's not G.I. Joe. Anyway, sorry.
It's sad. Like, I mean, on one hand, it's kind of like, he was 95 and we all knew it was going to happen soon. So that's one of those small silver linings in the whole thing is to the best of my knowledge, it wasn't anything incredibly tragic or unforeseen. But I mean, the guy, I mean, was and still is a pimp. I mean, when you do what you do what he did to an entire industry of entertainment. Like that's something that I think he He died proud of his legacy because it's an epic
You know,
one for
it's a
sure.
little sad that he doesn't get to see the film adaptation come to its fruition, but it's kind of nice that way a little bit, and we get to theorize that in the last movie he got snapped away.
Right? Right?
Like
That's I
how
mean,
crazy would it
I
have been
did
if they
see a
did that?
oh
Like if they had snapped him away, that would have been so apropos. That would have been so Hitchcock.
oh my God. Yeah, like that would have been crazy. Like snap him away just like ha 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 get it. And then now he actually can't be in the next one. And you're like, "Oh. Oh." But I did see a thing that says that according to his IMDb page, Stanley is credited through if you look at his credits from acting, voice acting, and animation, he is credited with appearing in 121 films, which is more than like what was it? It was Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Meryl Streep, Julia Roberts, and I can't remember the other like it was like a big A-lister type thing, like these people who are famous for being in movies. And you realize like that's insane that one, Marvel's done that much stuff, and two, that like Stan Lee is been involved with things for so long that he's able to hang his hat on that kind of a record. It's crazy. Did you hit the button?
Yeah, of course I hit the button. But you know,
Okay.
we we want to say thank you. Yeah,
I
we want to
love
say
it.
thank you to someone who created his own universe and gave two guys the belief that they can do it themselves. So,
Bingo. Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
there's no real clever way to transition away from that. I'm not going to try. So,
No.
yep, hard
Hard
cut.
cut.
You know, moving on. I want to talk a little bit about the knockout that everyone, self included, have been talking about. Knockout talking about Yair Rodriguez against Korean Zombie, which sounded like a Tekken 7 downloadable character. Uh,
It definitely does. Like, hey, Soul Calibur 7 just came out. Check out these new
Korean
fighters.
Zombie.
So what's your thought on the knockout?
You know, for me,
Go.
I loved it. I thought it was really cool. I thought it was a clever use. One of those, certainly not planned, but certainly a resourceful knockout in my mind, and it harkens back to that conversation we were having about that last punch mattering. Like, what if like that referee didn't give that guy an opportunity to stand up when the horn went off?
Agreed.
So
Yeah,
that's
you're
we're
right.
back to that old chestnut. But I thought it was great.
Um,
I loved it. And sorry
I
for
thought it
those of
was
you
funny.
who aren't
Oh,
aware. Essentially, what happens in the fight? We'll post a video of it to our Instagram. Rodriguez ducks a punch and basically throws an elbow backwards behind his back underneath the other fighter's chin, the zombie guy, and the Zambino guy,
Zambambo.
Zambuskis, and just knocks him cold out, like cold out, and just hits the ground.
Yeah.
And it's one of the crazy. It's one of the most certain knockouts I've ever seen.
The Korean Zambambo does just he's just done. Done for face first in the mat. It's over.
I mean, and it goes
Um,
back to my
but
everyone's favorite fighter right now, Mister My Balls was hot.
Mr. You're
Derek
right,
Lewis,
Derek
that's
Lewis,
my
right?
boy. My balls was hot.
Last second, boom. But I mean, the knockout makes me laugh because my personal reaction when I saw it wasn't a resourcefulness or anything like that. I legitimately think that Rodriguez thought in his head like, "Oh shit, don't hit me," and he ducked and he threw his head down at such a force and created enough momentum that his right elbow just happens to come up the other way, and the Korean zombies throwing his haymaker trying to connect one last time again with so much forward momentum that he goes into the elbow, There was not. There was no. Nobody wrote that up. He wasn't thinking in my head like, okay, the next time he swings to punch, I'm gonna duck that, but I'm gonna throw my elbow in this way, and that's gonna catch him on the chin. Like, Yair Rodriguez had no idea what was going on. Was ducking a punch, and then looked over and he's on the ground, dunzo. Like, I won!
Haha! But I mean, there are
Like,
some who are considering this the greatest knockout of all time.
I believe that sometimes lucky things can be the greatest of something of all time, and this would qualify. Like, this is an epic knockout, and I don't take anything away from the knockout itself because it's funny and the last second of the match, everything's great. But I believe that it was 100% fluke level luck.
I'm reading an article right now. I'm actually reading his words. So I'm reading a
Okay.
direct quote from him. This is on ESPN.com. Let's see.
Okay.
The elbow. Nobody taught me how to throw that elbow. It was something I saw somebody doing in the back, so I started practicing it. We knew he opens up a lot with the punches. He always comes with the hooks, and sometimes he goes for the inside. You're already calling bullshit on this. I knew if I could get him to come my way and go under him, even with a kick in the middle, with a punch in the middle, with the flying knee, I knew it would be there. So he's calling it. He's like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, holy shit. I knew it was inside the 5-minute round, but at the same time, I was like, did I really hit him at the last second? Wow, I got him. I looked to my corner and they were super happy. Referee put his hands up and said the fight was over.
Yeah. That's like that's me hitting a hole in one at Pebble Beach and going, no, guys, that wasn't luck. I knew. So the wind is coming in southeasternly direction, and so I knew that I had to hit the draw instead of the fade. And when I lined it up, like if you think back, I twisted a little bit because I knew I had to send it.
So
Bullshit, Yair Rodriguez.
You think
your
you
arm
think he's
flailed.
working us? You think he's trying to work?
Yes. Wouldn't you? MMA, 90% of MMA is working everyone else. That's what Conor McGregor has been the best at. Like, you get paid whether you win or lose in the pugilistic arts, and he's working it. That's what I would say. There's no benefit to him getting out of the octagon and going, yeah, man, fucking lucky as shit, bro. No, that's not cool. It's cooler if he's like, no, I saw it happen on a fight before, and so I was like, oh, this guy leads with this thing and he follows through. So if I throw this elbow, I knew I could catch him. I knew I could. I didn't know that I caught him at the last possible second. That's pretty crazy. But I knew that elbow was going to be. No, you didn't. No, you did not. Good for you. Congratulations. No, you did not. It's not possible. It's not possible. Steph Curry can call every single one of his shots in a game after the fact because he's made so damn many of them. You know he calls those things before he takes the shot. Yair Rodriguez has not been throwing backwards, reverse, upside down elbows for his whole career, knocking fools out.
Hey, Baron Davis said he called it.
Baron Davis,
Yeah.
did he? I remember when Paul Pierce said he called it.
Oh, okay. So there's also another video of one of the Pretty Goods by what's that guy's name?
Yeah, it was Barrett. It's John Bois.
John Boyce.
John Boyce. It's Baron Davis from 86 feet.
No, it was Lindsey Hunter.
And Baron Davis says he called it.
Yeah.
Which is
Lindsey Hunter was on defense.
Well, Lindsey Hunter. What is it? Lindsey Hunter, athlete or hot girl?
That's one of my favorite games.
Athlete or hot girl, Lindsey Hunter.
Ashley Lee.
I mean, what people have called crazy things, right? That's different, right? When you know what I mean? Like we've all played, driveway basketball and been like, oh, God, for game, and throw up a crazy shot and it goes in. People call crazy stuff all the time. So I bet Baron Davis did call it. But Baron Davis didn't go into a post-game press conference and say, well, actually, I knew that the way they play defense in the last 8 seconds of the game was real loose. So I knew if I took off from 86 feet, approximately the free throw line on the opposite end of the court, that I'd have a clear shot. And at this particular angle, it was definitely going to go. No, he didn't. He just was like, game. and threw up a shot, and it went in. Good for Baron Davis.
It
Again,
wasn't for a
trying
game.
not to
It
take.
was like just like at the end of the quarter. He just said that
Oh, was it? I
he
don't
just
know
said
that.
he just called it.
Okay, that's fine. You can call it. I don't doubt that he called it. What I'm saying is, I doubt that Yair Rodriguez has been working for weeks on end trying to perfect his upside down backwards elbow.
Fair.
Like, that's a ridiculous thing. It's if you know, when Anderson Silva was knocking people out by kneeing them in the head, that's something he was practicing. You practice flying knees on a regular. That's a normal fight move. I want you to go to a bar and pick a fight with somebody and try to knock them out with Yair Rodriguez's upside down backwards elbow, and tell me if it's an effective
If I
fight
do
strategy.
it, like, you better buy me a drink.
I will buy you all of the drinks for one night if you were able to knock somebody out with
I think
Yair
I would
Rodriguez's
I would
backwards
just run around with the
flying
name the
elbow.
finger the entire time.
Yeah, I'd only have to buy you one drink because you wouldn't stop to finish them. You would just be like, "Oh, I did it! I did it! It worked! I did it! Yes, yes, yes! I did it!" I'm like, "Well, he left the
Yeah, and
bar."
I'm just
So,
running down the street.
like it was a crazy moment in UFC fight or MMA, right? To that knockout. Good for Yair, bad for the zombie. I get
Bad
that.
for the
But
zombie.
you were not practicing that move. That was not a strategy that you and your trainers worked on
Bad
before
for
the
the zombie is
fight.
the name of this episode.
Nice. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good bad for the zombie.
That's also a good band name.
That is a good band name.
So-
Whoa, that is a good band name.
I see. I've come up with a couple. I mean, working in the fruit industry, I've had to I've come up with a couple band names. One of them being or not banana hammock, but yeah, that's
Banana
it. That's
hammock.
it. Banana drought.
Banana drought. That's a good one. That's
fruit
funny.
pharaoh. Hey, here's my one that's actually my favorite. I have a couple more. The prima donnas.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the
Yep.
dash Madonna prima donnas, and then scapegoat, but GOAT with the periods in the middle.
Oh, gotcha,
Yeah,
gotcha. Okay.
Those are my most recent band names I've come up with.
That's a good one. I like that. Scape greatest of all time.
Scapegoat.
Scape.
It kind of
That's
reminds
badass.
me of is when was it Gautier their actual name?
Oh, yeah, game of the
Is
year.
that yeah? You call them Game of the Year edition. Is
That's
that
what
their actual name?
No, yeah, like Goatee or Gate or
Goatee or
something is their
whatever.
actual name. But yeah, but I always just called them game of the year, which is what all of my friends play enough video games that we all knew what game of the year meant, and we just moved on from it. But I don't actually know how they pronounced their one single, their one
That
hit
hit,
wonder
yeah.
status. I don't know the name of it.
Maybe their name is like Got Ya.
Got
Got
ya!
ya. That would be how
Gotcha.
I would do it.
That's
Yeah, it would be
funny.
like, "What's your name? Got ya?" Well,
Got
I
ya.
mean that actually, you know, there's a line in the Pink Floyd, the "Have a Cigar," when he says, "By the way, which one's pink?" That actually happened to them at the record label.
I don't listen to enough Pink Floyd to know what you're talking about.
Okay, so
Explain
in the
more.
song "Have a Cigar" by Pink Floyd, there's a line. I'm going to look up the lyric to be specific with it, but he says, "But by the way, which one's pink?" And it harkens back to a conversation they had at the record label where Pink Floyd is like, "Okay, well, we're here to meet Pink Floyd," and they had so little of an idea of who these guys were. They said, "Okay, but which one of you guys are pink?"
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
funny.
Okay, where'd it go? I just lost it.
Shit, I
I
lost it.
I've always had a deep respect. I mean that most sincere. The band is just fantastic. That's what I really think. Oh, by the way, which one's pink?
That actually happened, and they were actually asked
Yeah.
that question. That's awesome. That's super rad.
Could you imagine that? Like going in, like having your record label, and especially considering what Pink Floyd became since then. But like just
Yeah.
the idea that like the record label meeting would go that way. Like how crazy is that? It's like when Steph Curry showed up for the Nike presentation and it had somebody else's name on it.
It was Kevin Durant. They hit the PowerPoint and slide one was like Kevin Durant. He was like, "What? I think I
Yeah,
can
never
go."
mind.
That that's actually really funny. Which one are you as Pink?
uh, what?
No, no, no. Okay, cool. Do you know why? Do you know what is Pink Floyd like a thing, or is that
I think
just like a we just named
I
ourselves
don't
Pink
know. I
Floyd?
think it's just what they just call themselves Pink Floyd. I don't think it's in
Okay,
reference to anything. We might be wrong.
fair
This is why
enough.
we need a
Fair
fact
enough.
checker.
We do need a fact checker. We need a young Jamie. But I would like to pivot real quick to a quick movie review if
Before
you'd
you
let
do
me.
that, I do want to bring up another song.
Oh, oh, oh.
The song "Smoke on the Water" by Deep Purple. That also really
Yes,
happened.
there was smoke
Yeah.
on the
Well,
water.
what happened is the band was performing with Frank Zappa in this bar, and someone brought a flare gun into the bar and shot it off into the ceiling and caught the place on fire. And when they were out there in the morning, they saw smoke on the water and fire in the sky, and they wrote a song about it.
When I think of it in the context of yeah, something burning down, whatever, you could have smoke on the water, fire in the
Yeah,
sky.
because
Yeah, okay,
the place was right by the lake, so the smoke rolled out onto the water. Yeah,
water. Yeah, and then the fire would then would appear as though it was above it
and
in the
not only
sky. So
that,
it's like a
the
backwards
sun is
fire.
coming up, so you know the sun is red and fiery, and yeah,
Yeah. Ooh,
and
fire in the
that
sky.
guitar riff, that was like him doing that changed everybody's lives. They're like, "Holy crap! What did he just do? How did he do that?" He's like,
How did he
"Go the
do
other way."
that?
They're like, "What?"
Dude, that's awesome.
So yeah, a lot of
Huh.
history in that song there.
There's a lot of history in
That's not
all
true.
music. Yeah, you're right. I was trying to be one of those artsy guys who believes in things that aren't real.
Like human
um,
kindness.
so human kindness. So here we
Yeah,
go.
hit
Ready
me.
for this?
Don't.
I think it was about I don't know, two weeks ago. I went and saw Jonah Hill's writer and directorial debut movie called Mid 90s.
Okay.
Can you guess what time frame it's set
Late
in?
80s.
It was actually early 2000s,
Can
but
anyone tell the difference?
yeah. So I can tell you that um, it is very much a like a first film, if that makes sense. Like it's independent. It's a little artsy and obscure in the best kind of ways, and the end is purposefully not the end of the characters' lives, right? This kind of the whole story takes place over a couple of months, and it's meant very much to show that these four kids are now kind of bonded forever, and they're going to continue to live lives now that the movie has ended.
Right. This is just a
So
slice of
the ending
life,
feels a little
basically.
abrupt. Gringo, yeah, yeah, yeah. But I thought it was very fantastic, and much like your joke to start the segment, I related very very much to the types of things those kids were doing together. Only they happened to me in the early 2000s. Like that was these kids were all between 13 and 17, which for me was 2001 and beyond
Right.
kind of a thing. But that like when you're kind of rebelling for the first time in your life, and suddenly maybe your friends start to be more important to you than your family.
Okay.
and it becomes kind of a culture shock for everyone involved. Your mom starts to worry about you because you're not having the same conversations as you used to, right? You're starting to like new things that you used to not like or not understand. It's all making sense for the first time. Like girls don't have cooties anymore. You're like, oh, what's up, ladies? But you also don't know what you're doing, so you're scared shitless the whole time
Oh,
that you talk to
naturally.
girls. But you got to sound cool. So you're like, yeah, what
I'll
up?
talk to
Hey,
I'll talk to any girl ever.
yeah. I'll talk to not her though. Like
No,
not right
I'm busy,
now.
dude.
Like I'm busy. Like yeah, we're hanging out. Like it's bro time. We're I mean, and I mean this particular movie focuses around like skateboarding because that like the group of kids they all hang out, congregate at like a skate shop and stuff like that. Where I mean I had my go at extreme sports at about that age. So that it all kind of related the slang terms that they used were kind of the same ones that we used in the early
What,
2000s.
like cool?
Um, no, like sick, rad, awesome, badass, like
Wait, wait,
and
wait,
like there's a
wait.
whole thing.
I use every
What?
single one of those words every single day.
It's because we're never growing up,
Sick.
man. We're clinging to it. Sick, sick. But before in pre-show, you said I can't remember the order at which you said. I'm pretty sure you went what shit fuck.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And one of the characters in the movie they call him fuck shit. That's his like nickname. Is fuck shit, and it's because every single time somebody does something really cool on the skateboard, his immediate response is fuck shit. That was dope. Like you throw down the sweet trick, and that's exactly what I say every single time. And so it became his actual nickname. He just, oh, what's up, fuck shit? And he's like, hey, and everybody moves on. And I thought that was like that's funny because I did that. I do that same thing where I'll respond the same way to something, and it never became like a nickname or anything like that. But it's like, yeah, you do. You're like, ah, that was fucking
Well, I
awesome.
find it funny. Like I have a habit of giving my brother nicknames based on what's happening in that moment. Uh, like there was one time we were eating. It was taco night, and I think he was like 14, and I was up visiting for dinner, and like he spilled some refried beans on his shirt. And I was like, look at this guy over here. Look at old Bean Shirt over here, just hanging out with beans all over his shirt. Get out of here, old Bean Shirt. And so, and
Old
so for
bean
the rest of
shirt.
the night, no matter what happened, he was old Bean Shirt. Like I live in a family that supports my madness, which is not always good, but they indulged me, and suddenly Ben was old Bean Shirt for long stretches of time.
And then of course, nicknames like that, they fade, but then you can always like reference back, and
Oh yeah,
everyone gets
like he'll
it.
get called old Bean. Shut up, old Bean Shirt.
He's like, guys, it was like 7 years
People
ago.
don't
He's like, people
forget.
don't forget. Another Jonah Hill reference.
Oh, so
But anyway, I'm
one
just saying.
last bit about my brother. My dad has
Oh yes,
challenged us to a season 6, episode 9 of The Office politeness war at Thanksgiving.
he's challenged you to a
Yeah, my
politeness
brother,
war.
as Dwight and
Wow,
Andy have.
Andy.
I've been
Yes.
the gauntlet has been thrown down to both of us to have a politeness war.
Wow. Are you gonna bring
I
bagels?
might.
I think it would be epic for you to start the real life politeness war with the reference to the original politeness war and show up with bagels, hand them out to everyone, and say, "Well, don't worry, you just owe me one.
Don't worry, you just owe me one.
It's okay, you just owe me one."
Oh man.
Is it that hard to be nice to people so that way you can conspire against a coworker to have him fired? I love it. The politeness war. That is badass. I wish I would have
Yeah,
thought of that.
it's gonna be rad.
That is so good.
So back to your review. So like you still haven't really told me anything about this movie. I understand that it's it's set in the early teens, and skateboarding is
Yes.
sick.
Skateboarding is sick. It is just there's the thing is the essentially the events of the movie are inconsequential to a review, right? I can tell you that I liked it and I think you should see it. I wouldn't pay money for it, right? I don't think it's worth paying money for, if I'm being honest, because it's such a low budget independent film itself. Like it's not, you can download it and catch it on YouTube and the viewing experience is going to be the same, right? But I can tell you that like the way the characters develop is eerily reminiscent to the things that I would have said and done over a similar time span in my life, where the way the main character changes when he meets new friends and he becomes a drastically different person, for better or worse, and it might not even be a long-term change because it's such a short snapshot of his life. But that's how it was when you were 13 or 14. You meet somebody you think is cool, all of a sudden you're a different person.
Yeah, that's fair.
You just want to be, or I guess coincidentally, you could have been the cool kid that everyone changed to be like, but I certainly
I was definitely
wasn't.
not a cool kid.
I was the kid. I was definitely the, oh my gosh, whatever. Kevin is so cool. I'm gonna be just like
hang out
him.
with Dave, he's a
And
cool guy.
yeah, I want to be like, yeah. What does Dave like? Yeah, Transformers are cool. Yeah,
I like the Ninja Turtles.
and that's just how it was, and it was such a perfect, um, like film snapshot glimpse, flashback to what I was going, like not directly, but I could relate to the entirety of the movie.
Fair enough.
And that is something that hasn't happened in a movie for a long time.
I'm finding things interesting, like the movies and stuff that's getting made right now. Like for instance, this movie you're talking about, I think about the TV show Big Mouth that's on Netflix. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to watch that yet, but it's very funny. I find it very entertaining. I'm still in the first season because I'm trying to spread it out. But it's very entertaining. It's very relatable, but it's presented in such a way that you wouldn't like you see, oh, Big Mouth, it looks like a cartoon of kids for kids, and you would just go right by it. But I find it interesting that there's so many relatable, like, coming of age stories coming out right now.
Yes.
I think because we all kind of suffered through it silently, and now we're able to laugh about it as we've kind of gotten into our adulthood.
It's the adult realization that actually everyone went through the same
Right.
shit. Like with Big Mouth, it focuses a lot on the puberty aspect of life. They're at that age, the characters are. And I went through all that same awkward puberty bullshit too. The first time you go to school and the first girl to get boobs is like one episode at some point. I don't know if it's first or second season, but they go through a whole thing where it's like, oh, she has boobs. What? And it was like, you try not to stare, but you're definitely staring, but you realize you shouldn't stare, but you can't stop staring. Like everyone went through it, but nobody talks about it. And now we're adults and we can talk about it.
And it's so funny, yeah. Like you said, and the other thing about it is hearing what, at least for me, hearing what a girl's perspective going through that period of time, because I'm hearing like, yeah, that's pretty much what I was going through. So I would imagine that what is happening for women, it was pretty much what they were going through. And to me, I was like, wow, this gave me a really different perspective about that whole period of time, because none of this was ever made aware of. I was never made aware of any of this.
Right. Like, and I think you touched us like,
if I was, I would have acted differently.
I think that, yeah, the writing staff that they put together for Big Mouth has done like a really, really good job of, I mean, I guess there's the chance I wasn't ever a teenage girl going through puberty. So maybe that's not at all what it was like. But if if it is what girls were going through while guys were trying not to stare at their boobs and all of the other aspects of puberty, getting their period for the first time and all that stuff, if that's actually what they even remotely went through, holy shit. It was just as awkward for them
if
as it was
not
us.
more
That's
so.
awesome.
Like, I mean,
If not more so, you're
there's
right.
a lot
Like,
of things they have to deal with that we don't. Like, let's just be real about it.
yeah, we just don't. And especially if you think back to that exact time in your life, you had no idea they were going through that. You were thinking, "Oh, girls are girls. They've got it easy. Listen, we've got to try to hide our boners in class."
No,
Like, no, man, that's the least
so
of
easy.
the worries
Like,
of
they
the
would
world.
trade in a minute. Like,
Yes, they would absolutely be like, "Yeah, I'll tuck it into my waistband
I'm just
and move
like,
on." Like,
I can fully admit now, and if Chris is listening to this, maybe he'll understand me a little bit better. I can fully admit that a lot of the times I was an asshole in class and refused to get up and do anything is because I was popping wood. I was like,
yeah,
Jake, will you come in? Like, no, I don't do that. I don't answer questions in class anymore.
I don't.
I don't do standing up presentations. I don't even get up to go to the bathroom. I just sit in this desk for long periods of time.
This is my
This is,
life now.
you
This
know
is
what?
my
I might
existence.
just stay here through the next period because I like this desk so much. I
I
like
can
this
tell
desk a
you
lot.
that
I gotta
as
get away from this desk.
yeah, yeah, right. You're like, yeah. Oh shit, maybe I do like this desk too much. Oh god, I can tell you that for whatever reason, I think it was social anxiety mostly. Um, every single day of middle school for me, fifth through eighth grade, 4 years of school, every single day when either my parents or the school bus, depending on the morning, because through middle school I had both, right? Every morning, the automobile that was transporting me to school would get to a certain point away from the school, and it was about half a mile. I could tell you, as if you're familiar, which you are, the listeners, some of them are, some of them aren't, with Oakley Drive, the road in front of the middle school I went to. When the car or the bus would turn onto that road from either direction, I would get a boner in the morning.
meanwhile,
No doubt.
Oakley Middle School is just like, oh, is that a banana in your pocket, or are you just happy to see me?
Yes. And it was terrible because I would have to be in the car with my dad or my mom or on the school bus surrounded by fellow students and have to nonchalantly somehow hide the boner so I could get off
Tuck
the
it.
school bus. Just tuck it and walk real slow. And it was like it made it even more awkward when mom, your mom's like, give me a hug.
You're like,
Tell me-
no, shut up,
tell
mom.
me- Yeah. Say, Alexander James Maxwell, I love you, and you will say it back. I love you too, Mom, and I scurry off as I'm like trying not to talk to my mom with a boner. Like, and it was like this weird social anxiety, and I'd stand out in front of the school because we'd get dropped off, 20 minutes before the doors opened, and you talk to your friends,
Right, that's
whatever,
what
and
you
hang
do.
out, and then they'd let you in the
school.
Yeah.
We actually got
Welcome
let
to school.
inside to do that, but
Oh no, unless you were getting breakfast in the cafeteria, which I wasn't. I was standing out in front of the school for 20 minutes with a boner, talking to my friends, dumb shit. Every single morning, no fail. This is not an exaggeration. This is the most embarrassing boner-related story I've ever told. As I was standing, anybody who knew me, 5th through 8th grade, if we hung out in front of the school, I want you to know that I had a boner and it was nothing sexual the whole time. I promise. No doubt. No doubt in my mind.
That's the funniest story you've ever told me.
Like, without exception. Like, I can't, like, it sounds so ridiculous, but I want you to know it's 100% true. Just popping wood the whole time. And as soon as I'd get into, like,
You're fine.
homeroom, I'd be legit for the rest of the day. Totally fine. Not a problem. But for 20 minutes from 7:40 to
Your life
8
was
a.m.
hell.
for 4 straight years, yes, September through June, it didn't matter what I did. Boner before school. I was like, God damn it.
Every single time.
Sometimes it would like wait a block to kick in. I'd be like, the streak
Today's
is over.
And then all of a sudden it's
Yeah!
like, today ain't your day.
Today ain't your day, Maxwell. And yep, that was it. So yeah, Big Mouth does a great job of painting the picture of awkward puberty and the moments everyone sifts
Especially
through.
you.
Especially me, dude. Hormone Monster was hanging out with me hard
Literally.
every morning. Yeah, pun intended for sure.
Man. You know what I realized like 3 days after listening to last week's episode? I never gave my verdict on Boo or Goo.
You did.
I never even talked about it. Like, you just went off and then we moved on.
That's so. What was your verdict?
Let's go back to it. Hit the music.
Boo or Goo, boo or Goo, boo or
So
Goo. Anyway,
my problem with the PlayStation is primarily that they aren't going to have the games because they don't have the relationship with Rare, and Rare has all the good shit.
All the good shit for that era.
Yeah,
yes,
like all of
the
it.
good
And
shit.
so, like, what are you gonna give me? You're like, I don't even think it has Pa Rappa the Rapper on it. And if you don't have that, you ain't got squat. I can already get Banjo Kazooie on the Xbox One, man.
That's absolutely true. You can actually get all of the Banjo Kazooies on
for like
the Xbox
$40.
One.
It's not a bad deal. Like, those are great games, and they're like
It's
remastered. I love Banjo Kazooie.
I'm a big fan. Yeah. I can, yeah, it's a solid point. That just is. I can tell you that I haven't looked at the published list of games myself, but when I look over it, I bet you I'll find two that I'm interested in.
It was kind of like,
I guess
it was kind of like the SNES Classic. I was just like, yeah, I mean, I've already played Star Fox 2, and I have an emulator, so yeah.
Oh, I felt the exact same way, but I definitely still bought that.
I couldn't afford it.
Oh, that's fair. I also have the NES Classic as well because, I mean, I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I'm not gonna not buy that.
All right, so I just
I was like, I have an emulator too.
but
meh.
Okay, I'm pulling up right now. I'm gonna go through a list of games, and I want to hear. Okay, I'm gonna continue with ad blocker. I don't care.
I'm going to continue to block your ads. I don't care what your website asks me to do.
Let's go ahead and continue with that. Okay, so here we go. Here's the full list of PlayStation Classic games. Battle Arena Toshinden. Cool
Never heard of
Borders
it.
2. Destruction
Never heard of
Derby. Final
Never heard of
Fantasy
it.
7.
Okay, that I'll admit has been a game that obviously came out when the PlayStation 1 was a new system. I've wanted to play through Final Fantasy 7 at least one time in my life because of the way it sits in like the pantheon of video games and its history. But so far, I would say that's one game that I want to play.
We're at 1.
One. So far,
Grand Theft
one.
Auto. Intelligent Cube. Jumping
Never heard of
Flash.
Never
Metal
heard
Gear
of it.
Solid.
Don't
Mr.
care.
Driller.
I mean, it sounds like a advanced.
Right, that's
to
exactly
me.
what I thought it was too.
But no, never heard of it.
Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey.
I know of Oddworld, and I've never played any of them. So why start now?
I mean, I'm going to say, but Rayman.
Like the original
Rayman.
Rayman?
Just straight Rayman.
Okay. Yeah. No. I mean, I never played a Rayman game, so why start now?
Resident Evil Director's Cut.
Nope. Don't
Revelations Persona. That's
Never heard of it.
Are you familiar with Persona 5 and that whole thing? I think that's the first one.
Oh, okay. I've heard of
I
Persona
think
5, yes, but
that's the first one. Ridge Racer Type 4.
I know of the Ridge Racer series, but never played it.
Blow
Why
your
start
hair
now?
back. It's a car driving game on the PlayStation.
Yeah, okay, fair enough. And it's not named Gran Turismo, so
okay, wait, hold on. It's just a car, it was. I don't know about this. Like, maybe this game was incredible, but you're just telling me you just put a car driving game on the PlayStation? Get gone.
Get gone. Get gone, Sony.
All right.
Get gone.
Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo.
That's not it. You made the name of that game up. You strung together 5 words to trick me.
Siphon Filter.
I've heard of Siphon Filter. That I remember everybody liking in that era of games. Like it was a really good game then, but
Do you
I
know what I
never played
remember
it.
about Siphon Filter? I remember they had a really cool ad campaign, and like the dude put up he made like a circle with his thumb and forefinger and like looked through it, and it acted like it was a scope, and it's like Siphon Filter on PlayStation, rated M for mature.
Hmm. Rated him for mature. Yeah, that last part.
Tekken Tekken
Yeah,
3.
yeah. Don't like fighting games. It's one of the first episodes of my show where I raged about how
It's
much I
true.
hate fighting
Check it in
games.
our
So,
archives, available at my show, alexandjake.podbean.com. Twisted
Ooh.
Metal.
so I would play through a Twisted. Like I've never actually played any Twisted Metal game for more than just like at a friend's house, kind of dicking around because we had nothing else to do. So it would be kind of fun to visit the beginnings of that kind of ever hailed series, right?
If but the say at the same time, you're better served playing Twisted Metal 2.
Or I mean, I'm probably better served playing any other Twisted Metal that came after it because I would assume they all got better
No,
with graphics and more
no,
controls and no,
no.
no, no. So either way, we're currently at 2 games I'd be willing to
Wild
play.
Arms.
Continue. Never heard of
And
it.
and we're done.
That's so.
You were right. Two.
I by by my count, 2 games I actually would like put effort into playing. What it was probably 4 or 5 games that I had heard of but don't care about, and then well, there's 20 total,
Yeah,
right? So that leaves 13 games I've never heard of.
that's not a good ratio. And I'm looking now
No,
at like a list of the 25 best games, and not seeing it. Not seeing any of these on here. Oh man. So it's gonna be a boo for me, dog.
that's fair. Yeah, I mean it's a pretty boo worthy release. Like I said, I actually here's how much I would be committed to putting out effort to play Final Fantasy VII. I actually own Final Fantasy VII on the PC. I have all 3 discs because it was later released on PC. I just don't. My computer. I unplugged my my actual CD-ROM. I guess it's technically a DVD player, but I unplugged that because I needed the cord to connect to another component within my thing. So I own Final Fantasy VII, and I still haven't put out the effort to play it because I'm too lazy to plug my CD-ROM in.
You said you said ramen.
I did.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for listening, Jake. It
You
means a
said
lot to me.
anus. Yeah, yeah, I heard it.
I can't believe that you didn't give your boo or goo while we were doing the
No, I think I
segment.
was.
And neither
Yeah,
one of
I
us
was
noticed.
I was in editing. I was like, wait a minute. I never said anything about Boo or Goo.
And I can also say part of what goes into the boo for me is that it is yet another blatant copying of Nintendo by Sony when it comes to video games.
Yeah,
Like, this just in, 90% of video game innovation Nintendo did first and everyone else copied. Get over it.
there's going to be something coming out soon. It's going to be PC Classic. It's going to be a miniature computer, and it's got a bunch of like old computer games like Oregon Trail and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego on it. Also,
I'd be way more goo about that than the
also
PS1
known as a
Classic.
floppy disk.
That would be
Dude, like,
hilarious.
that's it. I would do that. Like, we should, hey, quick, stick that in the mail and mail it to us. That's a $1 billion idea right there.
That's a
Like, make it
billion
look like a
dollar
little
idea.
floppy disk. Like, what if we took like Raspberry Pis, put plastic little floppy disks over them, and just turn them into PC emulators? Like,
And just PC emulators. Yeah. PC not included. And then yeah, and it's just got like like
bunch of
freaking 50 old ass
free ski.
games. Free ski and
Dude, hell
Jezball.
yes. Dude, did you ever play DX Ball? Oh man, that was the
No.
best one.
That was the best one. What's the difference? What's
DX
DX
Ball
Ball?
was one of those classic paddle games, but it had like you could shoot. You had like laser beams that you could shoot with your paddle. Oh man, it was some next level business.
DX Ball. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay. I see
yeah,
you.
that was a
I see
classic,
you.
man. Like you got to get on DX Ball level, you know.
Get on
So
my
it
DX Ball
was
level.
funny too because like the first time someone told me about DX Ball, it was the late '90s, and this was at the height of Degeneration X, and I was like, wait, is there a game about Degeneration X? They're like, no. I was,
No, has nothing to do with Degeneration
I was like,
X.
oh. And then I was really confused because like the video game, the Aerosmith video game Revolution X was also out at this time. So there was a lot of X going on, and I was stuck in the middle of it. I didn't know what to do.
So, wait, Aerosmith has a
You've
video
never played
game?
the Aerosmith video game?
I mean, I knew that they had like a rock band
No,
version, but I didn't.
they have a full. Okay, so it's the same basic engine as the Terminator 2 Judgment Day game. And
Okay.
instead of throwing grenades, you shoot CDs.
That's is this like a was this like a parody game?
This
Was
game
this
is
supposed to
dead
be
serious.
funny?
And what it does is like this evil authoritarian government has taken over, and they want to ban all rock music, and so they like capture Aerosmith, and you have to go save them.
All right. The 90s were an
And when you
interesting
lose,
time.
Steven Tyler goes, "Don't give up."
I'm gonna find a way. I want to find a way to capture your impression of Steven Tyler in a video game, and have that be your text message
Well,
notification
it's
on
on
my
your
phone.
computer. Just chop it up, and
I'm just gonna chop it down and just don't give up.
oh,
That was terrible.
that's
Awesome.
the best. What are you talking about? But hey, these people, they put up with a lot.
they do.
They could have been any. Oh my gosh, I can't go into the close.
What? No
No,
closing.
cancel that close. I forgot to tell you because these people don't even know, and you don't even know that this show almost didn't even happen.
That's true. We spoke at pre-show about how you were telling me a story about how you almost didn't
We
record
almost didn't
tonight.
have a show. So Monday, sitting here
Monday.
minding my own, just sitting here about town, watching a little telly, and I'm using my computer doing some business, and I bump it, and all of a sudden, it's like, hey, your battery's dead. I was like, excuse me, it's plugged in, bro. And I look over, and the charger is no longer working.
Whoa.
So I had, thanks to a benevolent Amazon subscription, I was able to get one delivered today before, like
Holy
it got
crap.
delivered at 4:00. We recorded at 6:30. Started recording at 6:30. That's how close it
good.
came to not having a show this week. So by the skin of our teeth, ladies and gentlemen, we got it done for you.
Yes. We, the recorders, did it for you, the listener. You're
And-
welcome. And also, shout out Amazon Prime.
But we still want to continue thanking you because you could have
Yes,
been anywhere
yes,
in the
yes.
world. But you're here with us, and we appreciate that. Make sure you're checking us out on all of our social medias. I think this is going to be the first one I link to YouTube. So if you want to check us out on YouTube, check us out there. Give us a thumbs up and comment if you got something to say. But for this episode, this edition of my show with Alex and Jake, good night, universe.
It's a podcast.